motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, or opposed? Motion carried. Dr. Scott, recognitions?
Yes, every superintendent in the state should believe that they have the best principals. Truly, they should. If they don't, shame on them. But I will very biasedly say that we have truly excellent principals. But it's awful nice to sometimes, every once in a while, to get something recognized. So I'm proud to announce that Mr. Jerry Johnson has been chosen as the Area 4 KPA Kansas Principal of the Year. How's that for cool?
Do you have a speech prepared?
I think it cost him a lot of money to get that. Now, congratulations, Jerry. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Next, we'll have the financial report.
Okay, I'll go to page 3 of the warrants. Down at the bottom, we have High Plains Co-op, a couple payments, one for $121,630. That's our final assessment payment, local payment to them. And then $94,415 is the state flow through from to them. And then, of course, we got Wheatland, and then above that's the Holcomb Rec, $19,933 tax money that was going to them. With those in there, it adds up quite a bit. So we have $419,009.13 this month of warrants. Then on page 4, our cash balances are all looking good for this time of year. And same with our expense summary on page 5. And then on page 6 is our transfers. And then we have the high school and middle school reports after that. So if you have any questions.
Back up on page 3 there, Mike or Scott, on the first wireless, the SRO radio. Is that for a radio?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a single handheld radio that it will, because I don't know if you guys recall, but the high school is, for some odd reason, a dead zone. It just doesn't work. It's off the towers. So Jason was having to use his own personal cell phone, which is not a good way. And so we said, well, what would fix this? What would take care of it? And this is a police grade radio. So we own it, but the SRO utilizes it. That's what it is.
Does it tie in with Holcomb
Yeah,
PD then? And yeah,
it does. Yeah.
yeah, good.
Several months ago, we were talking about the contract of doing it. Yeah.
Are there any other questions about the report? I would take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the financial report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any public patron items of concern? Doesn't look like it. Administrative reports, Scott.
Yeah, I've got a couple, 5 things to talk to you about tonight. Their work is afoot as we speak at the administrative level. There's been work going on for a while in the realm of, are we better off to accelerate kids through classes or to enrich kids in classes? Okay, this really comes forward out of the realm of gifted. And so it hit my desk, I don't know, about a year ago or so, because what was kind of happening is we were accelerating kids through, and then by the time we got into high school, they were not taking the right classes, to be prepared for us to do well in the state assessments, whatnot. Because, very intelligent kids, but they aren't working on the information any longer. So we're moving them forward. So it brought the whole topic together. And so we've been working on this for a little while, saying, well, which is better off overall? Are we better off to accelerate kids, miss classes, or to enrich them? The prevailing attitude, and I take exception to it and I disagree with it, is out there that we want our kids to walk across the stage here with an associate's degree in hand as well. People think that's a good thing. I do not. I do not believe that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for kids to pick up some college hours, but not very many kids who I know who are 18 are ready to be thrust into a junior level course at K-State, KU, pick your place. They're just not ready. So we got to looking at this. Socially, emotionally, they're not ready. So said, well, what is the proper way forward on this? So, does it fit some kids? Sure, it fits some kids. But why is it just gifted kids? Why doesn't it fit all kids? So because prior to this work is just for the gifted kids, the anointed gifted kids. So the work now is going down the path of saying, what if it's in somebody's individual plan of study to accelerate? I'm much more interested in enrichment. That's where I'm much more interested in. But why couldn't a kid who's not labeled with a handicap, because that's what an IEP is, and if a person is labeled as being gifted, he or she is being seen as handicapped. Why couldn't a kid just get enrichment, if need be, or acceleration through the individual plan of study process? Okay, so we've been working on this for a while. Lucas is kind of heading this up for us at the administrative level, and we're looking to build a metric, if you will. So in order for a kid to qualify for possible enrichment, he or she, first of all, has to pop a 4 on the state assessments. Just because I have that and I'm anointed as gifted, I might get a 2 on the state assessments. Well, that data point doesn't make sense for me to skip a class. And we're looking at other metrics as well. We're not finished by any means. Last week I invited Alexa Belts, that's the CEO of High Plains, to come to the meeting, and she participated in it. So this is not being done behind anybody's closed door. We're trying to do this right and do it in a thorough manner. So I just want to let you know this is ultimately would rest in the realm of board policy. If we end up creating this metric that says in order for a kid to qualify to be accelerated, he or she has to hit these metrics. That's board policy. Currently, we have none. So we want to address that. So that's taking place.
So the level 4 on the state assessments, that it either any area?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing about this, Dave. Why not? Why not any area, right? Currently, it's done in math. Math, why? I don't know, because it's done in math. So now here's an interesting thing for you if you really want to dig into this. The state of Kansas happens to recognize gifted, okay? So a person, my son, he qualified for gifted until we signed him out of it. He's still qualified, but anyway. In Oklahoma, they have a thing called gifted and talented. So literally, someone could be really, really good trumpet player, and he or she would get an IEP, which means he's handicapped because he's really good at playing trumpet. This is state by state by state. So when you say, well, how can you take this on? Why would you tilt this windmill, Mr. Peterson? Because it's not it is ill-conceived. So we're going to come up with the Holcomb approach that will fit our kids best. And once again, as far as I'm concerned, why not for all? Do it for anybody. If it fits his or her individual plan of study, why not? So plenty of work yet to be done on this. So capital projects, just want a little bit of an update. Later on in the actual agenda, I'll talk about the water and the water project and the boilers, so I'm not going to spend time on that right this moment. But the track is finished. Working with them, they are going to give us a 5-year maintenance certificate, if you will. So they'll come out and do 5 years worth of maintenance. If you recall, I went through KASB because they missed the deadline and said, would you help us with this? And they said, we don't litigate. Okay. So we'd have to go get a different lawyer to do that. And any money we would receive back on that wouldn't be worth the squeeze, would not be worth the juice. So in talking to Mammoth, they're giving us a 5-year maintenance credit, which I appreciate that.
What's that include?
Come out and make sure it's not flaking. And if it is, cuss and discuss it. But, well, we've got a 1-year solid warranty. But then they'll come out, unless there's fading that's taking place, they'll fix it. So, better than nothing.
Can we get something from them, like in writing, that shows what this 5-year means?
Yeah, we're in process. I don't have it on my desk yet, but yeah, it is. Nick is sending it to me. That's the fellow's name. Also, just so you're aware, there's talk at this point of possible donations toward turfing the baseball field, not so much the football field. That looks like it's coming in at $540,000. There are ostensibly donors who are interested in this, but I'll go on record right this moment and say it to you. I will not move this to the board level until the money is in the bank. If the money is in our bank, I mean, I'm talking about our accounts with Mike, then I would possibly move that to the board level. Right now, it's just, it could happen. So just want to let you know the work is taking place out there with that particular area. We'll see what comes forward in the next couple months. The KSDE fiscal audit has taken place. Last year we had 830 students. This year our audited number is 813. I'm not a math guy, but that's fewer. So we've got to turn this around. The long-term happiness, fiscal happiness for us is tied to head count. So next year, when we do the SO66, and prior to the whole audit work, we'll use this year's number. So it takes 2 years to absorb the decrease in funding. And, and supposedly every year they increase the base state aid per pupil, but that trend continues to go down. When I got here 8 years ago, we had about 1,100 students. So in the leadership of Scott, I've driven that puppy down by 200 students. This is statewide. 95% of the districts are facing the same thing. That and 250 almost get you a cup of coffee. We're trying to right size our staff along with the number of kids we have. So every single position, and the principals will attest to this, that comes forward saying, hey, we hear somebody might resign. I look at the principals and say, how do we absorb it? What do we do there? And we continue on that. I've got a laundry list made for 2 years from now. I mean, I won't be here. And Lucas has been coming to our admin meetings. He's, well informed, keeping him tied to the sticking post, if you will. And I've created, now he'll do his own thinking, but I've created my own list for 2 years from now. What other positions maybe. Not liking to do it, but that's where the money is. That's what's going to happen. Otherwise, turn a blind eye to it. Just can't do it.
Is our enrollment currently open for
Next thing on my list.
Okay.
Look at great minds there. April 16, which is Thursday, enrollment opens. Online enrollment is open on April 16. Also, Lucas has come up with an idea. I think it's a great idea. It's the Refer a Longhorn program, wherein if a family can, we've built some criteria. We've done this in transportation and in food service. If someone brings a family to us, then we're looking at giving them a discount on their tuition. So anything that can get things rolling is good idea. It's good work. Just have to wait. You plant the seed, you water it, does it grow? We'll see. Last thing to mention to you is next week is the final Soup with the Soup event. It'll be on Tuesday the 21st. You're all welcome to attend. Tuesday the 21st at 11:30. If you've not come to this, you should. It's the best cheesy potato soup going, right, Randy? Yes, it is. It's great. Great dialogue with the people, and it'll be in this room. Even if 3 of you can show up, no problems whatsoever. If 4 of you show up, we just have to make sure you don't talk about school. So just sit there and talk about eating soup. So that's it, Mr. Peterson.
Thank you,
Maybe
Scott.
you've talked about this there, but just curious with legislative session being over, civics requirement.
I don't know that one, Ryan. The communist versus that one.
Requirement for all high school students to graduate with a civics proficiency.
Jerry, do you have any knowledge on that one? I've not seen it.
Okay, I'll forward you the bill.
Oh, please, thank you.
Yeah.
Like a class requirement? Which right now we do 1 semester government, 1 semester civics in order to graduate. The government is required by the state currently, and so the second semester is always a civics credit that we
think you have to show proficiency through assessment is the way I'm reading it there. Right. Right. What's that test entail? I have no idea. But I knew the civics piece of it there was one, and I'll forward you the bill, and then the cell phone ban, figuring that there's going to be changes with what our policy is.
Yeah, we will have to adjust our policy. I'm highly disappointed in the state of Kansas on that one. Prohibition didn't work. Neither will this. It'll last for about 3 years. But regardless, we already do a good job with this realm. I don't know what they do in Dodge. Could not care less. We did not need this. But those in Topeka decided we did. We will follow the law until the law changes. So policy will have to come forward for next school year. And so admin's talked about it. So, my voice, I think. I'm not sure.
Any update on the middle school, Jim?
That later on. I've got that on the agenda.
Thank you, Scott. Next, we will have buildings and grounds.
Nothing further.
Thank you for Thank you, Garrett, for the tour of the elementary school earlier today. Appreciate it. Transportation, food service,
I have nothing further.
technology. Principals, let's start with Miss Albright.
The elementary schools took part in our spring barn day. We go twice a year up to the USD 363 barn, and we take all of our elementary students. Even preschool plans theirs. They go separate than K through 5, but the FFA students always do a really nice job leading their barn day experience for our students. And this year they had the opportunity to plant seeds and learn about different plants and growth. Practice wrapping sheep legs and understand why proper animal care matters, exploring large farm equipment, decorating flower-shaped cookies while connecting their experiences to agriculture concepts, and then of course learn about all the animals that they had in the barn, like pigs, goats, and sheep through direct interaction. And I just want to give a shout out to Marcy and her students, because they always send out a Google form after we go and get our feedback, and they've done a really nice job of changing it over the years to bring more hands-on learning for our students, and so the experience has gotten better and better each time we go. So the kids also do a really nice job with their leadership skills and learning how to talk to our students and do presentations and leading them through that barn experience. So really exciting stuff there. And I also want to give a shout out to Garrett and his crew, because our grounds at Wiley are looking really, really good. And this week and last week, we saw them out there edging and doing all kinds of work, not just mowing and stuff like that. And I've had multiple people come to me and say that our yard looks really great. So they're doing an awesome job too.
Thank you, Amy. Next, we'll have Mrs. Time.
If you're not aware, we have started state assessments, and that's kind of a big deal at our level. It's the first time our third graders take 2 assessments. They take math and ELA, and then our fourth graders also do that, and they add on their social studies, which is done at a different time. And then our fifth graders do ELA, math, and science. So this week we are all doing math and science. At the end of the week, we are going to celebrate by going to Peter Pan in Garden. So I think that'll be a great way to just celebrate the kids' hard work, the teachers' hard work. You know, the teachers really stress about this because it's a big deal, and they put in a lot of work trying to learn you know, the different mini tests on Kite in order to try to make sure that the kids are familiar with the assessment, and that those things aren't creating a barrier where they can't do their best because they're not familiar with the tools or how it's set up and things like that. So really proud of all their hard work getting these kids ready, and just letting them know that their best is enough. The best that they can do is enough, and that's the biggest battle that we fight, is not just getting in there and clicking buttons until we get through and we've got all green checks. So I'm really proud of them for that. Also, I just want to say that we've almost got all of our dots on the wall for our 5th graders, so that's always an exciting time. Mrs. Crockett works really hard on that, having all the kids prep that, and then they paint their dot on the wall. If you've been through Holcomb Elementary, you probably noticed that we've extended it down from that point down towards the 5th grade hallway. So pretty soon we'll start adding some dots over there because we've almost filled up the wall that we started with, so which is really exciting.
Randy, what is
I think it's Steps Dance School is going to be putting on a production. So they do, I don't know if they do the whole production, but I think she said it's about 45 minutes, and it's a good practice for them before they put it on. So they invite some schools, and we actually have a student that's in it this year. So yeah, we're gonna go and enjoy it. I'm pretty sure it's at Horace Good, that big gymnasium, so, or the auditorium.
Thank you, Randy. Violet?
Couple of our initiatives I wanted to update you on. IPS, Individual Plans of Study. First, thanks as always to Kim Leonard for the great job she does, giving our kids really unique career-focused field trips. They just finished their last one this weekend. She actually took a group that had done sports management. They kind of did a follow-up and went to see the Storm game in Dodge, and I guess a couple of our kids got to participate in the halftime game, and one of them won, so that was pretty cool. But there's one more opportunity for our 7th graders. They'll have their career field trip, career fair, April 30th, which lots of local business leaders come out. We have about 30 businesses or vendors that'll come. What's really cool about it is it's not just like an exhibition gallery where they walk around aimlessly. They'll have like 3 sessions that are paired up with their interests, and they'll go and learn specifically at these booths. Then at the end there'll be a little of the walk around time, but that's really cool. The other thing I want to update you on was our MTSS intervention efforts looking for next year. We will keep the Walk to intervention model, meaning all teachers participate and all kids participate, but we'll be going just back to reading. Instead of having the 3 math teachers do math interventions, they'll all be doing reading interventions. Our building's blessed. We have a lot of elementary endorsed teachers, so they see the value in that reading, so it works well for our building to have all staff involved in that. So we'll be going back to reading interventions for next year. So just wanted to update you on those 2 things. Thanks.
Great.
Just want to update you on activities that we have going on at the high school. Biggest one was this last week, was our state assessment testing. We had state assessments Wednesday and Thursday. A little different at the high school than when they start testing down in 3rd grade up through 8th grade. We only test sophomores for math and English, and juniors for science. Those are the only 3 tests that are actually given. We do American history, but that's a test yourself. You can take it as many times as you want to. It's kind of one of those that even though they do it, it's not necessarily one that you get reported in for the state. So we asked our students a couple years ago, what would it take for you guys to try on the test? Because again, test apathy is the biggest thing that you have to fight whenever you're looking at state assessment testing. How do you guarantee the kids are going to try on it? And so we just asked them, what is something that would get you guys to actually try on it? And they said time and food. They're the 2 big things that we can offer them. And so Mrs. Gifford has done a really good job creating a testing schedule. We told them that we would feed them breakfast every morning, the 2 testing days that we'd have, and we'd have them out of school after lunch. If they took state assessments that day, we told them we want to make this a big thing, and so it's going to be like a ball game for state. That's all you're doing that day. You're not going to other classes. You're not, worrying about, history class or elective classes. We're just going to worry about that state assessment testing. So we did that for 2 days. The caveat for us a little bit too is you only get that day if you show up. So we had 100% of our juniors show up on state assessment testing, and we only missed 2 sophomores. So we got everybody tested in that window because they wanted out of school that second half of the day. And talking to teachers, they said that it was good. They hardly saw anybody just clicking through, trying to get through the test. That they took their time onto it. And so really thankful for Mrs. Gifford coming up with that. We did donuts one day and cooked them chocolate chip pancakes the next day. And so it was a good day for us. We have prom coming up this weekend. So anybody want to chaperone prom, you guys are more than welcome to come in. And then stay for after prom and all that. I know Mrs. Ruda. I'll probably see Mr. Ruda there. And it's so nice that Mrs. Ruda has volunteered to stay on, or for Mr. Ruda to stay on for the next 10 years of prom. She volunteered him. We signed a 10-year contract without him knowing. She's resigning, but Mr. Ruda's not. So we really appreciate Dr. Ruda for staying on for the next 10 years of prom. Yeah, me either. We spend a lot of time together. So,
Will you have those results for next meeting to see if your incentives helped on testing?
I don't think so. That's the tough part about the lag measures of state assessments. A lot of times we don't even get those results until the kids are out of school. And so part of it is you'd like to get the results so that you can share with the kids, because kids are actually trying, right? And next year we're going to start being held accountable to those results as part of our accreditation. They haven't came out and said what the rubric would be, but a lot of people are talking about moving students out of level 1 into level 2 and out of level 2 into level 3. So the harder we try, the better we can see where they're at, and then we can provide the interventions for them. So we're getting a good baseline anyway to see where they're trying. So.
Unfinished business, school improvement day.
And that was a nice segue from what Jerry was just discussing at the end to School Improvement Day code for KISA. This is on Wednesday the 22nd is a celebration, if you will, of this last year was continued on for several years. But last year's work, really good work within our KISA area. This is all tied to accreditation. Okay? So on that day, the district leadership team and the individuals are listed there. So the principals, myself, Jackie Stapp, Terry Roth, Matt Dwarf, Molly Gifford, Julie Nemechek, and Alexa Belts will travel to Sublette and have the opportunity to share our story for the year with Hugoton and Ulysses, who will also be sharing their story of what efforts are taking place to help advantage our students. That's what accreditation is ostensibly all about. We have chosen a couple years back to work on professional learning with our teachers. The concept being, if we get better at what we're doing, then the kids will do better as well. And so what we've thrown in with is a lady by the name of Anita Archer has developed through the years, a long time back, a thing called explicit instruction. And so through the leadership of the principals in particular, but also BLTs and the DLT, are creating a instructional playbook, if you will, split into 4 different categories. These aren't the actual terms, but they put it in layman's terms for you. One chapter has to do with planning of instruction, and others, the actual environment itself, how do you set up a classroom. Third is the actual teaching that's taking place, and the fourth is the assessment that takes place. So the concept being, if we have a pre-K-12 approach here in the land of Longhorns, we'll all get better at this. So we have the opportunity to go down on Wednesday the 22nd to share that story, is basically what it is. We're ready. We've been ready for months. But we continue to talk about it on during our Tuesday admin meetings, just to make sure we're not missing some little piece and anal about some things. This is one of them. The last thing we'll do while we're at this meeting is start thinking about the next plan, where we're going next. As far as I'm concerned, I think we just continue to get better and better at this. We're never really done with helping people get better on how they teach. But that's what's coming down the pike. Our accreditation is in the offing for this. I see no issues, none whatsoever. So what all does accreditation do for you? It's what allows us to get money from the state to pay people. And there's a couple other things that accreditation does, but that's what's happening next. Well, not next week, 2 weeks from now on Wednesday. Mr. Peterson?
Next on the agenda is insurance claims.
Alrighty, we have, if you recall, 2 claims out, one for the water damage at the middle school and one for the boiler. Start with the bad news first. We're having problems with the boiler claim. We're still fighting it. It's not over. It's not over till it's over. Their first volley is, no, we're not gonna cover that, which, okay, one way or another. We will need to have boilers, so we will address that, but we're not finished with it yet. Chip, our new iron insurance guy, we sent the latest information to him. We'll be following up with him this week to say, we followed everything we're supposed to do, as far as keeping those things clean and do everything. It's a maintenance problem. I mean, not maintenance on our part. It broke. So it should be covered. If it gets covered, that's $5,000 out of pocket, and then we get new boilers. If it does not get covered, it's $35,000 each. Quick math, that's $140,000. One way or another, we need boilers by October of next year. So don't know which way that's going to play. We won't give up on that until they say we're not doing it. We're not going to pay for it. I'll keep fighting the good fight, just because that's what insurance is for. But insurance companies never want to pay out. Never want to. There's plenty of lead time on this one, so we don't have to beat feet and get done, say, okay, we're done with this at this moment. If it does turn that it's coming out of our pocket, I'll probably be coming forward and ask you to spend the money out of contingency reserve. Right now, we're sitting at about $800,000, a little over $800,000 there. So I'm planning on us also asking you to spend $100,000 out of there for the deductible on the water claim, which I'll talk about that on a momento. So that would drop to $700, take another $140 out, now we're at $560. So I'd like to end the year in contingency reserve north of $500,000, and so I don't plan on bringing anything else to you. But that's if worst case scenario, if that occurs. Don't want that to occur, but it could occur. In order for that to take place, as far as spending that money, it's an overt open action item, not just part of the warrants. Someone will have to raise his hand and say, Mr. President, I move, to spend the money out of contingency reserve. So that's the bad news. I always ask people to give me the bad news first. Good news is, next month probably I'll be coming forward with the $100,000 deductible request for you on the water. At this moment, it looks like, knock on wood, it should all be covered, which means a new floor, a whole new floor, replacing the tile. Want to come back with a polished concrete approach. Think Walmart. Okay. Long term, that saves us money, and the carpeting. So that's going as it should. No one on their side of it, the insurance side of it, has said, oh, no, like they have on the boiler side. So we expect that to occur. If you've not get into that gym lately, get on in there. It's a lot of fun to see. It's really interesting to see what water does to wood. So there you go. That's my update on that. One we're losing, one we're winning. We won't say it's over till it's over on the boiler one. Any questions on that one?
What's their reason for not wanting to pay on
They just don't think they should because we can't, they will not accept the fact that it failed, that something occurred, that we did something to it. We didn't. We followed the preventive maintenance. We've done everything we're supposed to do to keep it up and going. And I've got to see the final report in print. We'll argue about it. We'll continue to fight. We have until October, like I said. Lead time to get boilers, those boilers in, Garrett?
Should be about a month.
Okay.
Get it in a couple days.
Okay, so it's not like we need to hurry up like on the wood. I'm concerned about the wood on the basketball court. That takes a month or two to get that in, then a month to put in. So we need to get down the path on that one. If we're ordering up boilers in August, we're fine. We'll be fine. That gives us a couple months just to fight with them.
How old are the current ones that failed?
So one of them was 2016. The other three have been, they're all reinstalled in 2016. We replaced the heat exchanger in 2000, 2021, and 2022 on 3 of them. So the heat exchanger is basically the boiler itself for it. So
Seems
they're
pretty
all
short.
less than 10 years.
Yeah, seems pretty short time to me. Seems pretty short. So,
Next item on the agenda is handbooks.
yeah, I've got 4 more for you tonight. There's nothing sexy in these whatsoever. Basically, no changes to the teacher evaluation one. Dates, and we're not gonna give a physical copy to the classified staff handbook, save some money. People will go online and find it. We'll have them sign a document there for Stevens, they received it. Faculty handbook, and just dates are being changed in there. And substitute teacher handbook, dates, superintendent name change, and high school AD name change. So I recommend the board approve of the 4 handbooks as presented.
And I get a motion to approve the handbooks.
Some of them.
Well, second.
Been moved and seconded to approve all 4 handbooks as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business, exclusive uniform contract.
Yeah, I asked Lucas to come forward and present this. It was his idea. I think it's great. And he worked all the way through this with the AD and the current coaches, looking for an exclusive contract for our uniforms, basically, boils down to. Think like we have with our soda. You know, we had Pepsi, now we have Coke, right? So why not have an exclusive contract for uniforms? And so the work is taking place. We now have language that's gone back and forth between the lawyers. It's all set, ready to go. But like I said, it's Lucas's brainchild, so I asked him to come forward and present it to you.
All right, well, thank you, appreciate it. Working with BSN Sports and Randy Bennett, who we order most of all of our jerseys and things like that through, I had talked to him about doing this. I know this is something larger districts do, and if you sign with a exclusive brand, you get some sort of kickback or money or discount and that sort of thing. So it was kind of a no-brainer to go down that direction. We talked with all the head coaches about which direction to go, and we voted on it and talked, and Nike kind of was the one that came about. It goes down to the fact that it's something different. We need to figure out how to differentiate ourselves from other districts. If we want to promote our district, promote the great things that are going on, promote our kids, we need something that makes us different. And this is just one little piece of that puzzle in my eyes. The quality and price is comparable to Under Armour, which is what most of our athletics use at this point in time. By signing this means that if you're using a big brand, meaning like Nike or Under Armour, you have to go with Nike. If there's something like for swim, for instance, they don't have enough, Nike doesn't produce what we need for swim, so we wouldn't have to buy Nike. At the middle school level, it might not be cost efficient to go with Nike, so you could go with a lower brand like Holloway, and you're fine with that. Nike just says you can't have Adidas basketball if you sign this, and Under Armour football or whatever it might be. So Nike will give us $4,000 a year for 5 years, so $20,000 total. Talking to Chad Novak, who will be our AD, beginning next year, that will be kind of divvied through the programs to help buy, and that money has to be bought back with apparel. So apparel for coaches and kids, that money to be divvied back out. This also gives us ability to have a discount with Nike products. It's cool. Like if you get 100 kids in this room, I'm going to say 80 at least say they wear Nike, they have Nike. I mean, that swoosh is iconic. So I think if this does get passed, we can start putting that swoosh on our branding, on our marketing, those type of things. Kids like it. If we can get 1 or 2 families to come here because we're a Nike school, so-called, I think it's more than worth it. The other things, I guess, we would be, so some schools, for instance, like I believe our friends to the north have an Under Armour contract, but their basketball coach uses Nike. So they go do something different. We would be the only school in western Kansas that would be exclusive to Nike, so that's what makes us different than some of these schools around us. And so I think that's cool to make us different. I think that's everything. Oh, there was some confusion with shoes maybe, that you have to wear Nike shoes only if the district pays for the shoes. We don't pay for our kids' shoes, so a kid could wear whatever they wanted. That would not be under this contract. So there was a question somebody brought up about that. So
How about like team gear, Lucas, for like families and parents for like their shirts for the 2027 basketball program? Is that going to take away from the good sport or places like that?
the team sport, it says here that the team shop has to go through the BSN Sports, but I think, talking to Randy, we could still use other entities for some of those type of things. So yeah, I think we need to have good partnerships with who we already still have, so.
Good.
Any other questions?
So what's the price comparison of what we're doing?
So, it's very similar. Right now, we're buying Under Armour for most of all of our sports. There's not a lot of difference in quality or price because they're selling to high school, so it's very equivalent to what we're already spending on Under Armour. And we do not have to replace Under Armour right now. It's just going to be the next time we purchase things on the already set up schedule, will have to be Nike moving forward. So we can have Under Armour track uniforms if that's not what is our next purchase. So.
Lucas, there's not a minimum that we have to spend each year?
No.
What is the current schedule per team? Like how often do new get ordered?
Jerry, you might have to tell me, but I think like 4 to 5 years on the 5
5-year
years.
rotation.
Yeah. So I think volleyball is coming up here. The one thing I will say, the one thing that Nike, you have to really, sometime, not for like the shirts and stuff, but for uniforms, the turnaround time's longer than Under Armour, so that is, I'll be honest, that's a con, but I'm talking to Chad. We order things ahead of time far enough that won't be an issue. Like we know what things are gonna be replaced next year, so we can start getting those orders done, and make sure that we have those things. So that was one issue that was brought to my attention. So.
Most other schools Under Armour?
The ones that are around here, yes, and then a lot of smaller schools don't have an exclusive, like, I know there's some smaller schools that Nike won't even mess with smaller schools, but we purchase and have enough items that they were willing to work with us on this. So.
What's the term length of the contract?
5 years, so you get $4,000 for the 5 years, and then there's some verbiage to get out of it, but yeah, it's through June 30th of 2031.
Appreciate the work put into that.
Thanks.
Okay, so with that, Mr. Peterson, I recommend the board approve of the exclusive uniform contract as presented.
Motion that.
And moved and seconded to approve the exclusive uniform contract as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is use of school equipment during summer camps.
Yeah, every year we have students who go off to various, camps, and sometimes they need specialized equipment to be able to participate, think of pickleball, something like that. But in order to make that happen, the board needs to, take action on that. It's an annual action, we've done it, and on my watch, we've had no issues whatsoever. So I recommend the board approve of our students using specialized district equipment during summer camps and/or clinics.
I'll move.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve approve students using specialized district equipment during summer camps and clinics. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
It's the time of the year for the board to make a determination of whether to stay a member of KASB or not. I think through the years that I've been sitting in the chair, 19 years, there have been a couple districts who come back and forth out of KASB. I recommend that you stay with them, if nothing else because of the legal fees, or legal assistant fund that we utilize. I use it monthly, well, heck, weekly. And you'll see the way the thing's set up, they're not stupid. It costs more to be a member of KASB than to be in the legal assistance fund, but you can't be in the legal assistance fund unless you're a member of KASB. So, you know, it's smart that way. The legal assistance fund is valuable, extremely valuable. And then we get updates from KASB on policies and whatnot, so, you know, it's good stuff. Twice a year, you know, I come forward with policy updates, those come from KASB. So, I recommend the board approve the fees for the KASB membership and legal fees for 26-27. I'm recommending the membership at $10,996, and then the legal fees at $3,100.
I have one question. You said there weren't any help with the track when you.
Yeah, they don't litigate. They don't
Did
litigate.
you have to go somewhere else?
No, because
You
it's
have another option.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't have a lawyer. We could in October, July, the month I'm looking for, during the reorg meeting, the board could name a lawyer. By naming a lawyer, though, you're going to pay a retainer. And then it gets into, it's going rates, you know, anywhere from $300 to $700 an hour is what it is. But they just don't litigate. So, and we have not done that. Prior to my time or in my time, have we had a separate lawyer.
I would entertain a motion to approve the KASB membership and legal fees for 26-27 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the fees for KASB membership and legal fees. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Desktop computer purchase.
Yeah, and this is not just a straight-on purchase, it's requesting the authority to make the purchase. Julie's working on, you know, we keep a rotation going of our various technological devices. One of the items that's up for purchase this year or to address are the desktop computers. So think anybody who has an office, and the principals, myself, people who work in this building, secretaries, a variety of people, like 35 people who have desktops. Well, the ones we have are at end of life, they're 7 years old or so, and they're starting to have problems. What we've done in the past on different types of purchases is I've come to you, to the board rather, and asked for authority to spend up to X number of dollars. We've done this a couple times in transportation in particular. The reason being, when we get the information of what it really costs, it never lines up with our board meetings, ever. We're liable to get the information tomorrow. And if we were to not take this action tonight, then we'd literally be sitting around for another month before we could make the purchase. And or have a special board meeting. Last I checked, you guys don't want to have special board meetings, last I checked. We could meet daily. So we've done this a couple times, particularly with transportation. We think this purchase is going to come in the upper 80s, you know, but it's always nice to have a little bit of fudge to it, because you never know if they have an extra price for some plug-in of some sort, who knows. So what I'm coming to you and asking you to do is to prove the superintendent giving me the authority to spend up to $95,000 to purchase desktops. Desktops. That way, hopefully, we'll get the finalized numbers after we run through the bid process. And it's possible to get information back sometimes from our suppliers that we can make the purchase. That gives us a fighting chance of getting them in June, because the lead time on any kind of purchase like this is a couple months. To get them in June so we can work them and get them out the door so that by August 1, everything's installed and ready to go. That's the reason I'm going about this in this manner. So they're end of life, and I just don't want to wait around till we have the finalized numbers to bring it to you, because then we might probably be playing the game of school will have started next year, and then we have to change them out midstream. That's just not efficient. So that's what's going on here, Mr. Peterson. So I recommend the board to grant the superintendent authority to purchase desktop computers for next year, not to exceed $95,000.
One question, roughly how many computers would this cover, and
35.
which fund are you recommending the money come out
This will
of?
come out of capital outlay.
And so of the 35, or of those 35, do they also have laptops?
No, I don't have one. Some have,
Some
right.
of them have older laptops, and as we recycle or we get new laptops for teachers, and some of those for the paras, secretaries, if they would need them for a meeting, say they're going to long-term learning lab, or they're doing something like last year, we were doing training in Skyward. So they have, and some of them have a Chromebook, depending on their preference, for those things that they use occasionally. But this is their main.
But I don't have one, Mike doesn't have one. You have laptop?
I have a laptop. They have.
You don't have a laptop?
Chromebooks.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want one. One desktop.
So, one of the things that we're running into right now, Dell, for example, they used to have their bids were good for 30 days, currently 2 weeks. And you're going to heard data centers maybe popping up. They're buying up all of these, the RAM, which is also driving up prices and availability. So they don't know what their availability is on some of these. So the quotes are only good for 2 weeks currently.
Another reason to move on, so get authority so we can make the purchase.
I guess the only reason I was going there was, like a docking station is $200 compared to a $35 computer. So I didn't know how many people had both.
Most of them all work with two
Yeah.
monitors, and they don't have, they're not needing to take it much. We're using older machines for them.
Because I have a laptop, a docking station, and 3 screens, and
Yeah. So.
You're my hero.
I don't like.
On these 35 we're replacing, you know about how long they've lasted on average?
These,
The life of them?
these were purchased in 20. So warranty's gone, anything that happens with those is replaced anyway.
Trying to save money.
They're not meant to last, unfortunately.
So the agenda says 110, but you're.
Yeah, that's right, I changed that, new information today. Change it to 95, please. I'm sorry. Failed to tell you that.
Like,
No, it's not.
we get a motion to grant the superintendent authority to purchase desktop computers not to exceed $95,000.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to grant Scott permission or authority to purchase desktop computers in the amount not to exceed $95,000. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, donation.
Yeah, we continue to enjoy overt support from our patrons, from the people in our community. This month, we received a $420 grant from Midwest Energy to purchase books for the middle school library. So I recommend the board accept the donation to the district.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the donation from Midwest Energy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Amazon.
Yeah, central office got to thinking about, our credit cards we have. We have 4, 5, what do we have?
Visa cards,
Yeah,
we have a $25,000 limit and we have 5.
okay,
credit
cards, okay.
cards.
Got to looking at it, and we just had never thought to do this. Robin had an idea, but why not? That'd be a good idea. So we can get an Amazon card for free, there's no fees associated with it. You get 5% back on every purchase. We buy a lot of stuff through Amazon. In order to do this, we could have waited until August, once again, it's July, during the REARD meeting, but, in a couple months, we're gonna buy stuff. So we might as well just reap the benefits of having an Amazon card. So bring it to you as an addition to the agenda to please approve us to apply for and receive an Amazon card.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded to apply for an Amazon card. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel, we need to go into executive session for 15 minutes.
And I mean that.